learning to record and produce, and that's where I kind of got into. And then I realised you could actually, when you're making tracks, you can get really good samples. So that's when I started using a sampler instead of a drummer, and that's what I still do. I don't even use him for the tracks.
Welcome back. Thank you so much for doing this.
Thanks for having us.
Let's just recap real quick. So, born and raised. Tell me about born and raised in Scotland. You're in your hometown again, right? Where you were born and you were raised a little bit further outside, and you moved back. Is that the story?
Yeah. So right now we are at our mum and dad's place, which is a little place outside, a place called Lanark in Scotland, and that's where we were born. And we're up at the studio, well, in the house, but the studio is in the garage across the drive there. So we're up here just now, just making music and getting geared up for the new EP coming out tomorrow.
Very cool. Very cool. So yeah, you're back in the house. Your dad built the house, right? Or something? Did that happen?
Yeah.
Or okay, that's what I remember. So you're born there.
Yeah.
Tell me, you move, and you're raised in how far from where you're living now?
Probably about 10 miles.
Oh, not very far at all then.
Not too far. So closer to Glasgow. We had a big family home there, and then when we all grew up, my mum and dad decided to sail up and then build this place. So that's what they've done. And yeah, it's pretty special place.
Very cool. And obviously brothers. Steve, you're a bit older. What, 6 years older?
Yeah.
I mean, he's got his new hair. He's got his new hair since last
I
time.
was gonna say, I like it.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks very much. Just decided to go for a little change with the EP coming up. So yeah, just spontaneous. It's not actually Alan. It's actually Alan giving me a hard time and stress that it's turned my hair. So,
Turn your hair white.
Yeah.
I love it. Well, okay. So Stevie, let's recap a little bit here. You first learned drums, right? Was the first instrument you got drums, and then Alan kind of took it from you?
Yeah, that's right. So I was originally a drummer.
Not very good, I might add.
No, let's not tell lies in this interview. But I started playing drums, and just to all favorite bands, Rage Against the Machine and Green Day and things like that, and Blink-182, and then I started to write songs and play guitar, and I just sort of fell in love with that. And there was always a drum kit in the house, and I guess Alan just was so bad at every other instrument, he could only play drums. So he picked the drums up and started following in my footsteps. But that was as far as it went with that. That was where his capabilities sort of stopped musically.
Oh, on the drums. Got it.
On the drums. Yeah, on the drums. And yeah, he just stayed there, and I progressed and keys, bass, guitar, lots of things, but Alan just stayed on the drums.
Was that your first instrument on the drums, Alan, as well?
Yeah, well,
first and only.
Oh God, can't really sing.
It can play
coordination. Hand coordination is not very good for guitar.
Okay.
So I knew my capability. I knew I had limitations. Hitting things was always an option, which I'm going to do after this interview. I'm going to hit someone. But yeah. No, hitting things was always a good thing for me. So drums are a really good stress reliever, I find. Yeah, release some anger.
Yeah, he's got anger issues.
Yeah.
Well, were you drawn to the drums, or was it just, okay, Stevie has the kit here, it's here, I'm going to just try to play it?
You know that way where siblings, if they get something new, you think, I want that, even though I don't know how to play it or whatever. And when Stevie would leave the house, I would just randomly pick up drumsticks and just start playing.
It was kind of like that scene in Step Brothers, don't rub my nuts on my drum set. Kind of that. We came up with that first.
Yeah. So
at that point, were you still playing them, Stevie?
Yeah, but I didn't play. I was still, still playing, but I mostly started learning to record and produce, and that's where I kind of got into. And then I realised you could actually, when you're making tracks, you can get really good samples. So that's when I started using a sampler instead of a drummer, and that's what I still do. I don't even use him for the tracks.
Well, okay, were you in a band? I remember you were talking about writing a song for Alan's band. We could talk about that, but were you in a band prior to Alan's band?
Yeah, so the band that we were both previously in, the bass player and the guitarist out of that band were my school friends, and we were in a band before Alan started his band. So we were just playing local scene. We weren't very good. I was playing drums.
Not very good
at the time. And
Oh, I didn't realize you're playing drums. Is that the band that you were doing the cover songs and stuff in?
Yeah,
Or
well,
no?
we were just playing our own tracks, and I was playing
Okay.
drums, and I was writing but playing drums, and then the two guys that were in the band, they decided to go traveling for a year, like around Asia and Australia, and when they left, I just started doing like a singer-songwriter thing, doing that around the circuit around Glasgow, and then that was the time I started properly writing songs and producing, and that's when Alan started his band. And that's when the whole thing of me helping his band, write, that's how that all came about.
Were you you were taking on like singer-songwriting? Was that like you wanted to do that? Was that the original plan? Was just to kind of be your own like artist type?
I think because it was like when the guys left to tour, to travel around Asia, I mean, I started learning how to record and produce, and it was only like acoustic guitar kind of tracks. Yeah, it's just getting more confident in singing and writing, and I just love gigging that I wanted to keep that going. So yeah, we're just playing like sort of small singer-songwriter open mic nights. But I, if I'm honest, I kind of really like. I prefer being in a band, although it is with your brother. I do prefer being in a band.
Did either of you guys go to school for music?
No. I did go to college, a musical college, for production and sound engineering.
Okay.
That's where you kind of learn to do that. But that was all we really did. It wasn't really musical.
But you went to learn how to produce. I mean, it sounds like that's like a part of it, right?
Yeah, well, because it was like I didn't like when I just got obsessed with like trying to record your own music, and then when I went to this the college, it was all about physics and maths, and I was like, I'm here to record, man. I'm not here to learn about how sound travels and calculating this and that. So it went really boring, and then halfway through the course, they started looking at Pro Tools and Ableton and all these different softwares to make and produce, and that's when I really got interested. So that's that helped us, helped me start producing and start making proper demos. It was that just paved the way.
Okay. And Alan, at this point, were you in high school, or were you still in school at this point?
I'd been just finishing high school. I went to university to study marketing, the worst decision of my life. I stayed 5 months at university, and I didn't tell my parents that I was going back. So I was just going in every day and playing pool, and then I was going to the pub every day for like a year, and then I had to tell mom and dad that I dropped out of university. And then I started working with my dad, so I just did it that way.
How did they take that? Were they upset with you, or
not great? I just didn't.
He let the family down, Aaron. He let the family down. Very disappointed.
Well, I know you're the youngest. Were they like, okay, he's gonna finish? I don't know. You have a sister, right, that lives in Australia? I don't know if she's still there. But...
I've got a sister who's from here, but I've got another brother in Australia. But that's when the big bro steps in and gives him a job.
Okay.
Saves his musical career. Yeah.
Okay. When you're working with dad, and then this is when this band begins.
Yeah. We were always in the family business. Dad was always selling stuff. It would be like health products, or we had an energy drink company.
Really?
Yeah, we were always
Oh,
we were
wow.
always working together, and doing all that kind of thing. So before music started, paying the bills, Alan was doing all the marketing and all that kind of running the business, and I was doing all the graphic design, websites, all the promotion, that kind of thing with her dad, and doing that. Running alongside that, we were in our last band together, so we've always been together, making music or working.
Yeah, because your band, you like you said earlier, Stevie, you wrote a song, right? And that song kind of took off for your band, right, Alan?
Yeah,
Yes, it did.
it's getting radio play. Listen, don't stroke the ego, Adam. He's got a big ego.
Sorry.
No, we got some local radio play, and we started selling out shows. We're doing really well, and then as you know, they kicked me out the band for not being very good at the drums. So yeah, that's we ended up here doing the previous band, and then we ended up doing Saint Phoenix. So
Well, what do you do with that song? Do you take it from them? You're like, no, that
Yeah,
my brother and I wrote that. Sorry.
that's no, he didn't write anything.
Or
He
you
didn't write
wrote
it.
it in my brother's in the
No,
band
so
that you kicked him out of? Like,
you cannot. It says you cannot be serious. You've chucked. I wanted to help you guys out because my brother was in the band. You've kicked him out and stolen the song, and I said that's not on. You have to stop playing that song. And they said no, we're going to keep playing it. So then I formed a band with Alan, and we played the song. And when we played the song, we got a kind of bigger, and we got more recognised for doing the song. And then the other band that Alan got chucked out of, they stopped, they quit, which was great. And then we just continued on, and as I said, we had never any plans for the last band. It was just to stop that other band playing and also just have a bit of fun. And then next minute, we were selling out shows and playing festivals, and that lasted for a good long time. And then we got to, through that band, right at the end of it, we got to meet the manager of the Killers and Imagine Dragons, and that's how things started to evolve.
okay.
And
You get
that's
flown out to Vegas or something, right?
yeah. We went to Vegas to meet Mark Reynolds at Imagine Dragons, and they were looking at helping us. And then just through that whole process, that's, I guess, how Saint Phoenix, started.
So
It's
you guys
kinda-
weren't Saint Phoenix yet. You were this other band when you got reached out to
Yeah.
by them.
Yeah, we were in this other
Interesting.
band.
Okay. Okay. Well, real quick on that other band that you took the song from, would you go up? I mean, if the song had radio play, you'd assume that like people might be like, "Oh, you're just covering blah blah blah." Would you go up and like give a speech like, "Hey, I wrote this song. You might have heard it by this other band, but
No,
like,
we
did you have to give any backstory?"
No, we just cracked on. Just didn't care.
it wasn't the kind of. There's slight changes. The chorus kind of the same. Lyrically, we changed. Stevie changed.
Changed
the
it quite
verses.
it's changed the verses quite a bit, but the
Okay.
chorus was still the same.
Still the same. But
Um,
it worked out good. It worked out good.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I didn't know if like you had to go up there and be like, okay, I know that you might have heard the song before by so and so, but I wrote that thing, and and then kind of give your your story behind it to move forward. But that's great that they're doing nothing now, right? I mean, you said they stopped being a band, and you guys
One
have
guy's a gardener. One guy works as a chemist teacher. So they've took different path. They're
totally different path.
We're still in music, so we win.
Yeah, exactly. So tell me about going out to Vegas and that kind of getting the career going that way and becoming Saint Phoenix.
It was amazing. We went to first time going to Las Vegas. Eyes just lit up. You see all the lights. You see casinos. It's so busy, and you start to realize that we are two brothers from the arse end of Scotland, like in the middle of nowhere, and we're out to see or meet one of the biggest managers in the world, managing two of the biggest bands in the world. It was like absolutely insane. I'll never forget the breakfast because I had whipped cream on my pancakes, It was
First time you ever had whipped cream on your pancakes, huh?
whipped cream, and I think they give you like sprinkles and Smarties and stuff. It was in
Haraz.
Okay.
of
Oh,
all
okay.
places.
It was in Haraz Casino, and we met. There was Mac and a good friend of ours actually now. She's called Daylin Bowman, and she manages Forest Black, and
Oh, okay. Wow.
and we kept in touch. But we met the two of them in Vegas with her dad, and it was like wow. And then Mac was showing us all the Imagine Dragons demos for their second album, and it was just giving us an insight about what he thought we had to do to make the step up, to get on radio and progress, and that's what we did. You know, we he was like a Buddha to us. Everything that he said, we were like, okay, that's the gospel. We got to do that, and we spent a whole year in the studio just making songs, being better at production, better at writing, and we had this bunch of songs, and super excited about it. But the band were kind of, this is a big shift in the sonic and the sound, and we're not really sure if this fits. I don't think we want to play these songs. So we were at a crossroads of, you know, what do we do? And that's when we spoke to Mac, and he said, you know, the best thing to do is be distinctive, and there's nothing more distinctive than two brothers from Scotland playing these tracks. And it was just, and then it kind of clicked, a no-brainer, and that's how, you know, Saint PHNX was born.
Wow. What year was this that you got flown out there?
Jeez. 2016 to 2015?
15.
2015?
Started Saint PHNX in 2016.
Yeah, it would have been around 2015, 16. And and it just clicked. And I guess we felt kind of free, and a weight was lifted off our shoulders because we really believed in the early music. And then from there it was like a crazy ride. We were sending out emails to, you know, we found out all the major bands and artists, like their managers' emails off of Facebook. And we just sent out. So we just we had like a short email that said, hey, Saint PHNX is a brand new project from the UK, looking for management, would like to know if you're interested. So we had sent this to, so we got like Fall Out Boy, 21 Pilots, all these major artist emails, and we just sent these emails out with like a SoundCloud link, and then next minute all these major managers were getting back to us. You know, we're speaking to 21 Pilots manager on Skype, still speaking to Mac Reynolds at Imagine Dragons, Fall Out Boy, Avicii, and it was like crazy, and everybody was interested, and it was amazing. And then but a lot of them were States based, and they were wanting us to go over there and talk, and we were like, just want to get going. And that's how we met our current managers from London, and then, you know, everything just took off from there.
Wow. And those songs, excuse me, you put together some songs with Dan Reynolds, is that what you said? Or were you?
No, we just, Mac was just letting us hear.
Oh, just hear the songs.
Hear the songs and hear the demo, and hear where they were going. And it just gives you a different perspective on, it was very inspirational for me, in terms of, you know, when you hear Believer or Radioactive and all these massive alternative radio hit songs, and then you hear the demos and you go, oh wow, because it's the song is there, but it's not like this colossal song. And it really gave me a lot of comfort and inspiration to go, well, because I used to beat myself up when I was making demos, going, oh man, that's not good enough, that needs to be here, and it's here. It's and when you hear sort of like the embryo or the initial idea, the demo, you think, wow, that gives me a lot of comfort that even Imagine Dragons songs are just coming up with like sort of voice notes or ideas, and that becomes this massive thing. So yeah, it was a bit reassuring that the big guys go through the same process as the up and coming guys.
Okay, and then you got back, and I mean, you released a record we talked about a little bit, DDMT. And are these songs that you're talking about way prior to that session
Yeah,
even happening?
that was prior to the album. That was just like the initial songs.
Okay.
Songs like King and The One and Magic and all these
Uh-huh.
songs.
Okay.
That was that we wrote. And yeah, that got sort of got the ball rolling and started, you know, the initial birth, I guess, of Saint PHNX. We supported Imagine Dragons. We were on tour. We were doing festivals, and it was great. And then that led us on to DDMN, the first album.
Wow. Okay. And then obviously we spent some time last time on Happy Place quite a bit about. I don't know if you want to give a quick little backstory to the song.
Yeah.
Happy Place. I mean, Happy Place is the story of our dad passing away in January 2021. In 2017, he was diagnosed with a terminal lung condition, and he wanted to build his house. It was his dream to build his house with their mum. So he sold up, bought a plot of land, and built this house that's right now, and it looks out to these amazing hills. And during the lockdown, when we were writing our album, we were lucky enough to build a studio above the garage. And then from that, we wrote Happy Place, which is about the last 6 months of our dad's life. And he was taken into hospital on Christmas night. And we managed to play the song to him the night he passed away. And then the week after, we sent to the managers, and here we are, signed with Atlantic Records, the biggest record label in the world. So, yeah, that's the long, tall, and short of it. Quick version.
I mean, yeah, it's such an incredible story. I loved hearing you on the last interview. Like I said, I listened to it back, and Alan, you said something along the lines of like, just like being those last 2 years with your dad, like he did so much with you guys as a band. He was so supportive, right? I mean, he went on tour with you with Youngblood, didn't he? And didn't get on stage. I mean, there's a video of him like, you know, talking about your dad, like from like around the time that it happened. Just like stuff like that. Like you had a story about him showing up with his own merch. Like, are there any, what other things stuck out to you? Like within those 2 years that you can remember that you're like, wow, like that's something I'll never forget.
Yeah. The thing about the pandemic has definitely taught us is it didn't really click, but in 2020 we would either, if the pandemic never happened, our dad was always away in business, always traveling the world, and we were on tour. But when the world shuts down and you reflect back, we got to spend so much time with him from, you know, the start of the pandemic right all the way through, and spending every single day with your dad, and, you know, getting real close family time. You're really getting like 10 years worth of memories in that short space of time, and it makes you very, very grateful, because a lot of people don't get that, and a lot of people don't have it. So yeah, I mean, it was an unbelievable experience those last 2 years, and then you look back and we took him on tour. Man, it was just the best.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you saw him jumping up on stage, right, with Youngblood at one point, and like, that just sounds that's so cool that he was so supportive of what you guys are doing, especially to the sense that he, you know, left you a house to continue on what you're doing, recording music, and how does that like? Sorry, go ahead.
I'm just saying that was his legacy that he's left. And you appreciate it more and more each day, as when you come up here, and although he's not here, you still feel that he is. And you know, he's left his stamp, he's left his footprints on the world up here, and it's just a special place to come up and just be around and make music. We're really lucky that he's left that for us.
With the new EP, and obviously titled being Happy Place, were these songs written after that song kind of happening, and or like were they written around the same time? Like, what can you tell me about the new music?
Yeah, we before Happy Place, we were in the studio writing an album that was completely different. It was very alternative and rocky, and we were just following on from supporting Youngblood and you know, the first album, and Happy Place was kind of a different sort of sonic but it just came out of the blue because we were so inspired with what we saw with our dad, and you know, that moment, and capturing that moment seemed special to us. And then when he passed away, we were still in that same frame of mind, I guess, emotionally and artistically. And I follow the producer Rick Rubin on Twitter, and he puts up his like daily motivational quotes, and he was talking about, you know, the essence of capturing something that's real and putting that into music, and that just resonated with me. And I thought that, well, you know, we're in this sort of bubble, emotional bubble, and we should just try and, you know, express that through our music, and capture that. And I guess that's what the collection of these songs are in Happy Place EP, is the process of, you know, family, love, grieving, a celebration of life, and also, you know, the lows, I guess, of losing someone you love. But I guess it's just real life, and I think that we tried to capture that and explain, you know, that feeling in these songs, and you know, we just hope that everybody can relate to it, and it can help people going through the same thing in any way.
So sonically, they are in the same vein as that. Like, it sounds like you had a whole record that was a lot heavier. And would you
Yeah,
scrap the album, or?
No, it's still there. I think that's where we're going to get. I think we just needed closure in terms of Happy Place. I think there was songs that we wanted to that were around Happy Place, and they, you know, they were a good fit with Happy Place, and we just wanted to guess, you know, bit of closure on that period of our life, and you know, have a tribute to our dad musically. That's what we wanted to do. So that's what all these songs were, all these songs are about. You know, as I said, sonically and emotionally, they're all about, you know, Happy Places, about the inspiration, about our dad in the house. The song, the lead song of the EP when it gets released tomorrow, there's a song called Angel, and we wrote that the day after our dad's funeral. There's a song called Invisible, which is how me and Alan were feeling through the whole process, the real lows of that. And there's a song called Blue Feather on the record that explains the artwork of Happy Place, and you know, it's the last song on it to basically say that, you know, he's always going to be here, and that's sort of the closure of you know, that I guess how we're feeling right now.
I mean, you can tell. I mean, he's obviously there, right? You write this song for him, he hears it, and it just kind of catapults everything that your guys were doing, and it validates everything, I would imagine, for you guys.
Yeah, I mean, I've never really thought about it, but just believing in you know, there's something out there's an energy that's connecting everyone, and the stuff that's happened over the past year that we've never had before. There's loads of stuff, even in family life, stuff happened with our other brothers and their sisters and our mum. There's stuff happening all the time, and you just think there's something going on up there. He's up there working his magic and working everything out. So whatever he's doing, just keep doing it, because I know he can hear it.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. You did a video too for Angel, right? You said that you wrote that right about the funeral, right after the funeral?
It was basically, the song is about the funeral and saying our last goodbyes, but also realizing that he's always here, and I just guess when going through the funeral, just basically wrote what the thoughts in our head were. You know, just saying that, you know, we're going to miss you. You know,
Yeah,
there's no way.
Even when writing the lyrics, it just came out very, very easy, because it was real and it was how you're feeling.
Yeah.
It wasn't difficult to write, and it just kind of, once we finished the song, it was like, that's what it's meant to be. It was very, very easy. It came very quickly. Same with Invisible, same with Blue Feather. So it's just part of the process, very therapeutic for us to do. And as Stevie said, if we can help someone else going through the same thing, then it's an added bonus, because it wasn't our intentions.
Yeah, I mean, to be able to do that, like you said, therapeutically, like I could see some, you know, you could have went in a whole other place, right? Just dark and down, but the fact that you're kind of channeling that to bring happy place. It kind of says it all, right?
Yeah, I think that's a testimony to our dad, his spirit and his lust for life. That's what we've got to realise. He had a real lust for life, and we've I guess we wanted to capture that when we've finished, we've put these songs together. I think that we are, everything you start to realise as time passes on, certainly since he's passed away, that he is ingrained in our lives. Everything we do, the way we talk, our mannerisms, how we conduct ourselves, is how he raised us. And the biggest thing that we're really getting to grips with is how much he loved his family, and how he thought that family was always number one. And that's what we want to be a focal point with in our music and in our community that we're building as a fan base, is that this is a family. If you want to follow the ride of SAINT PHNX, then just you've got to know that you're joining a family here, and positivity and being with each other and keeping each other's spirits up is number one. And I think you can do that by channeling that good feeling into your music.
Mm-hmm. I love that. And do you feel like with this record, I mean, was it hard to present it to your family? I mean, your brother and your sister, and like, was it healing for you all, or was it like, what was the feelings there?
Yeah, I guess I think everybody had a good cry and everybody had a good laugh, and the family's super proud of what we're doing, and because that's one of the reasons why you do it as well, is because your family, your biggest champions and your biggest fans.
Yeah.
And it's good for us, our brothers in music as well. He does his own thing in Australia, and it's good to see him do his own thing. And we're all really supportive of what we do. But the family, they're right behind us, and they love they're our biggest fans, which is good.
That's great. Have you ever played with your brother, like on the same bill?
No, well, we're playing the same bill. He's supported us a couple of times.
Oh, okay.
I've never actually performed together. That's one for the future.
But you've played, like you said he's open for you. That's rad that you guys were able to do that though.
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool. We told him one time. He opened up for us. He was in Australia, and he said, "I'm coming home. You're playing this show in Glasgow. I'd love to open for you." I said, "Sure." I says, "No problem." I says, "Listen, there's no budget there or anything." It's like, you can, there's going to be a room full of people there if you want to, that's going to be good for you. Mm-hmm. He says, "Yeah, I'm going to bring my band over from Australia." I said, "That's kind of expensive." I thought you were just coming over to play acoustic, but he brought a band with him over to play from Australia, and and he was kind of bummed out that he got $50 to open for us, but
$50 and a case of beer.
Yeah, that's all.
Did he split it between the band though? Everybody got what?
No, I think he had to pay for his band, which he was kind of bummed out about. But listen, it was your choice, Dave.
You let him know though beforehand, at least, right?
Yeah, we told him. Yeah, it's family, but it's not charity.
It's family, but it's not charity. I love that. Yeah. Well, and you also had a chance to reunite with Youngblood a bit, right? On a couple months ago, or a month ago?
December, a month ago.
Yeah. What was that? I mean, was that first time you had seen him in a while, or how was that? Emotional?
Yeah, in fact, he played Edinburgh in November, and we went backstage and saw him, and it was just great to see him. It was the first time we'd saw him since her dad passed away. Mm-hmm. And kind of emotional, and then we didn't really get a good chance to speak to him. But then when we played with him and opened for him in December, it was just great, man. It was just so good to see everybody in the crew properly and have a couple of drinks. And he said some really, really, really nice things about our dad, and he's a special person, and he's always going to be close to our hearts. He's a top man.
Yeah, that video he did for you guys, I mean, that just shows, it basically explains him all together. I mean, it's such a powerful video.
On the second night, we had a good chance. We had our own podcast called the Great to See You podcast, and we were on, and we had Youngblood on as a guest.
Oh, wow.
So we're just talking about our dad, and we're talking about the EP and stuff, and then later on, and he never said anything. He just was, you know, saying his stuff, and he was on stage doing his thing, and he's been in like a run of shows, so he knows his set list and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And we're sitting up the back, watching the show, and he just plays the song that he sang with our dad on stage, and said all this amazing stuff for about like 3 minutes about our dad, saying better jokes. Do you remember the band SAINT PHNX, and just all this wonderful stuff, and then plays the song, and then there's two guys up the back crying their eyes out, and he's just pointing up, he's just pointing back to us, so it was pretty special.
Wow. That's yeah, that sounds like it was emotional day, emotional moments. Wow. It's amazing. The record's finally coming out tomorrow. That's so cool.
Yeah. So excited.
It's been a long time coming. I think that you were excited to get it out and let everybody hear it, and just have a good time and celebrate. You know that you know, as I said, it's a tribute to the dad to remember him by. It's our little, you know, thank you to him for everything that he's done for us. And I think we're just going to enjoy, you know, putting music out and letting everybody hear it.
Mm-hmm. With the studio now that you have, obviously, are you working constantly, always writing new songs?
Yeah. Always writing, always, always thinking about the next step, I guess, in music. You've got to do that. And we're finishing, you know, some brand new tracks because, you know, the way that the world works and the fans work, music's very, very disposable at times, and people want the new tracks yesterday. So you've got to keep on top of the demand and just got to keep things going. You can't stay still. So we're working on finishing some new stuff right now. Yeah.
Amazing. Well, Stevie, Alan, I appreciate you coming back and doing this.
Thank you so much.
All the success for the new EP, amazing. Like I said, it's great that you were able to have this closure and this therapeutic experience. I mean, having that one song do so well, and then just kind of channeling that energy back into the rest of the EP. That's incredible.
Thanks so much. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having us, Adam.
Yeah, I have one more question for you real quick, though. I asked you this last time, but I want to see, maybe I'll get a different answer. Who knows? I want to know if you have any advice for aspiring artists.
I've got it.
Okay.
When everyone that you're watching or in your town or in your scene, whatever you want, and they're all going left, you make a right and you go do your own thing, do something different.
That's a great advice. I like that a lot. I really like that. What about you,
I guess the best thing to do is just go with your gut and do something that's real and honest, and people will gravitate to that because people can smell bullshit. So just do what's in your heart, do what's in your stomach, and go with your gut and take a right turn.
Bringing it backward.